Rolling.
I brought scenes from the Misfits into class, and this is a 1961 feature film. The screenplay was written by Arthur Miller. It was directed by John Huston, and the actors were Marilyn Monroe, Clark Gable, Montgomery Clift, Eli Wallach, and Thelma Ritter. I asked the actors to take one of the actors and just come back to class and just tell us a bit about them. But what I've done a lot in the past with acting teachers, asking them to do that, picking an acting teacher, is that they then came in and sort of they just sort of recited what was on Google. And I said this time, pick something that you find interesting about those actors. It could be small, it could be about their technique, it could be about their personality or anything, and not necessarily give sort of a history of when they were born and when they died and all of that stuff. So here are some of the actors now presenting their work.
Okay, so my person was Eli Wallach, and some of the interesting things about him. One of the things that I found interesting about him was that he loved theater so much, that was what his first love, and he was kind of against doing movies. The first time he was offered a part in a movie, he was poor, not living in poverty, and he said no to the film because he was like, why would I want to do a movie? It's not as powerful of an art form as theater, and he liked that he could take all the time in theater to really deepen his character, and felt like in film there was no time for that. But then, so he worked in theater for 10 years before he did film, but then he did over 90 movies until he died. And he met his wife, Anne Jackson, and Marilyn Monroe at
The Actors Studio.
The Actors Studio. And he worked really closely with his wife, Anne Jackson, in theater for so long. And he said in an interview that he was saying that neither him nor his wife were analyzed by a psychiatrist, but that theater was the way that they kind of played everything out in their marriage. He said how fun it was to be able to do a fake fight with his wife, and to be in all these different contexts, that he could play out all his fantasies and stuff with his wife in that context. So he never really he felt like it was a psychiatric element to it, benefit to it. And then when he was cast in the Misfits, something that I read was that he was confused as to how he got the part, and he just assumed that it was because he was friends with Marilyn Monroe at one point. And something that the director Arthur Miller said about him was just that he was the happiest good actor he had ever known. He just loved acting so much in theater. And one other thing that I found interesting was when he was in the World War II for 5 years, and he was in a medical army hospital for a little bit, and somebody found out that he was an actor, so they made him and some members of his unit write this play that was mocking the dictators of the time. And so that was just interesting to me, that he loved theater so much that it was just something that he did forever, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So I had Clark Gable, so I decided to watch more interviews and also the scenes that he did instead of reading anything about his biography. So the things I've learned was more how he embodies the personas, and how his stature is very square shoulders, and he always has a little rictus in his eyebrows and lines in his forehead all the time when he's acting, looking like this. It gives a little almost condescending allure. His hair is always well placed and well put, with lots of gel. No hair is out of place. During one interview, I learned that he is a very, very clean person. He also hated baths because he said it's like marinating in contaminated water, that he prefers showers. He's extremely clean. Even when he was in World War II, he was bringing shower apparatus by himself that he created to be able to take showers. What else? He also did the very popular song Putting on the Ritz. Is that the, yeah. So I watched that, and he can dance really well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I had to study the work of Montgomery Clift, and I choose to do this homework, like just watching his work, and because of course I just Google it and start like all the scandal about how he died, the sexual life of him, the accident in the car. I say, I don't care all that. I just wanna saw how he worked. And what I found attractive and curious is like for the era that he was acting, he personalized characters like really human and also a little of fragile masculinity that I think for that era was like revolutionary, like kind of even Pierce in the Misfits. It's like this man who is a punch for the exigence of what is being a man, and he's a little more kind of cute in himself. He was like super natural, was the more natural actor than everyone. And yes, when I saw him acting, he was so relaxed and just like not forcing, and I don't know how maybe he was in the reality, but he looks like so like honest with how he was, like no super macho. Even he was like super handsome, that face that he had, like, but it's not like more like a romantic prince. He could represent that and know that a stronger heart, you know, and that was something that in his corporality take my attention. Like, look, he's just himself, and that's so attractive. And in that era, he had an amazing career, and he died really young, and all the movies that he made was like, yes, I think that naturality that everybody said in the interviews was that I observed, and that caught my attention.